That was fun.
That was so
Oh my
cool.
god. Every
Thank
time
you.
we do this, I just get this like slight panic of like, did it record?
It looked like it
did.
It, in fact, did not record.
Yeah, cue the Arrested Development music and narrator saying it did not.
Yeah, it didn't work. But luckily, we had a backup. We recorded the episode on a boom mic on our camera. So that's what we have.
Yeah, the audio quality won't be what you're used to and what we are expecting from our podcast, but the content, A+.
The interview with Emma Haney went so amazing. We couldn't hold back the episode because of technical issues. And honestly, really thankful we had a backup.
Yeah, for sure. And so we just ask you to please bear with us on the audio quality. It'll be back to normal next time. And enjoy the episode, everybody.
Enjoy.
So Emma, you have been married, did stand up.
Yes.
Got a divorce.
Yes.
Came out.
Yes.
Left a child in the dust.
Wow.
Welcome to the Love and Comedy Podcast, where two stand-up comics talk pursuing love while pursuing a life and stand-up comedy twist. They happen to be married. I'm one of your hosts, Aurora Singh.
And I'm also your host, Drew Schaefer. Our theme for today is being yourself.
Aww, cute.
So cute. And our guest today is the realest of the real. It sounds like something I wrote.
Yeah.
Aurora wrote that. The cool one wrote the realest of the real.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing comedy for how many years now, Emma?
13 years.
Woo, 13 years.
So long.
And you've had a love life for how many years?
Oh my god, since I was 19, so what is that, 17 years?
Okay, all
Doing
right.
math on the podcast today.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
So, what other, we were trying to talk credits. What are some credits?
Oh my gosh.
Drop them, brag.
They're only like, the cool like one-nighters, like, Ukiah, or like...
The cool one.
The cool one.
Was
No,
it
like-
Ukiah where Sydney was? When she did have
Wairika.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
another
yeah,
one.
Wairika.
Another small
That's
town,
another
yeah.
one. Yeah. No, Punchline, Laughs Unlimited,
Yeah.
around Midtown.
Emma's like a little local celeb.
Yeah, and we didn't say your full name, Emma Haney.
Emma Haney,
Our
yes.
guest
Our guest today is
everybody,
Emma
and
Haney.
we
Give it
got so
up.
excited, yeah.
Give it up for Emma Haney. It's Emma. Look, it's Emma. Okay, you guys that are listening can't look, but it's Emma, I swear.
I'll send him a picture of me.
Okay,
so they
perfect.
Can look.
Okay, great. Yeah, listeners, you hear that? You get a secret, sexy picture from Emma.
No.
She's shaking her head. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, yes.
We asked Emma to come on today because they have such a unique but also relatable journey of dating while finding who they are and bringing that voice to stage.
So we always like to get some background information because we know you, but
Yeah.
our listeners, our viewers don't necessarily know you. So real quick, it is the Love and Comedy Podcast. What's your current relationship status?
I am single right now.
Okay.
Single as a Pringle.
For the
And are
first time
we
in forever.
okay? So are we single and ready to mingle, or are we single and just like taking a little breath?
I'm single and taking a breath. I like how you put that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound negative at all.
No, it
very,
doesn't.
Really,
It's very positive.
It's very positive. It is
good.
exhausting out there.
It's, just like so I haven't been single since I was 19. I'm
That's-
34. No, I'm 35.
I do that too. I forget
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
totally
Normal.
chill. Yeah.
And it's way different now than it was when I was 19.
Yeah. What's the biggest?
It's all online dating and apps.
I know, it's so
Which was
normalized.
never like that.
Yeah, it's super normal now to meet strangers online.
Yeah.
And it's like preferred.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the old-fashioned way of meeting people, but that's just me. I don't know.
I feel like, nobody wants to be talked to anymore. And after the
Yeah.
pandemic, everybody's like, we don't go out. We don't talk to strangers. So, online has taken off.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Yeah, how the dynamic has changed.
Yeah.
All right, give us a quick recap of because your like love story, the little bits that we have heard you talk about on stage
Yeah.
is so interesting, and
Yeah.
I don't know if this is insulting to say, very entertaining.
No.
So give us,
They are really
if
fun.
you could give us like a quick little recap of your love life, start like when you started comedy, like start
Okay.
from there, yeah.
So I started in 2010. I was married at the time, had been with my husband for 2 years, so before I even started doing stand-up. And then we were together for, I think, like 5 years into me doing comedy, and then we got divorced because I'm very gay.
That,
very, very gay.
that I could see how that could be a problem.
That
It
could-
was an issue. It was an issue.
Yeah, when you're married to a man, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was just where I grew up in like Placer County. Everything
Oh.
was very, conservative. My parents are also like that a little bit. Not to the point where it's like problematic, like it's fine. So I think I just stayed closeted for a long time. Married my first boyfriend, typical lesbian move. That's always what happens.
What is that called? Is there a term for it? When you marry someone...
It's like a beard.
A beard.
A beard,
yeah,
okay.
beard.
That's, yeah. I was like, I know there's called something.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, you were 19. Had you dated in high school then, or?
No, because he was 5 years older than me, but we went to the same high school.
Okay.
And then he went to the Marines because he was Mormon and he didn't want to go on a mission.
Whoa!
So he went to the Marines.
Whoa, that was so much... Okay.
If you've ever wondered which is worse,
Yeah,
getting
that's
shot
so-
at
yeah.
or being a missionary, we have our answer.
There's so many things to unpack there. You're gay. He's a man. He is Mormon.
Yeah.
And in the military. So it's
Yes.
like his whole idea is find a woman, get married, make
Yes.
babies.
Very,
That's it.
Very like gender norm kind of
Yeah.
relationship.
And knowing you now, that is hilarious.
yes. I don't
Yeah.
even think I've ever brought that part up on stage.
Oh, you have to.
I should
now,
one day.
yeah, we're
I
both
should
like
one
that
day.
should
Yeah,
be. Yeah. As soon as you said that, I'm like, I want to hear everything about this story.
Yeah.
I want to get him in here. I don't care that he's not a comedian.
Oh
I just
man,
want
we
to-
haven't talked in like 6 or 7
So we
years.
definitely need to get him in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your
that should be
counterpoint?
fun.
So then what? So you guys get married, and then he's like, we need to make babies. I'm Mormon.
So he, when we first started dating, he had an ex-girlfriend who was 6 months pregnant, and they tried to make it work, but
Oh.
it just didn't work. So I had a stepdaughter that whole time I was married. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you
There's
still
so
are you
much.
still in contact with your stepdaughter?
No, sadly no. I was for like a little bit, but then we were all like, it kind of just makes it more complicated.
Yeah.
And plus, like, so from like she was a baby till she was about 9 years old was when I left, which makes me sound so shitty when I left.
Oh.
But so,
mean-
we kept talking for about a year, but then her mom and I were just like, I mean, what's the point of, it's going to make it harder when he sees starts dating
Yeah.
if I'm still like around. So
Right,
we had to
right,
like
right.
break it slow. It was very
Yeah,
sad.
it's always more complicated when there's a child.
child.
Yeah, whether
Not
George
my
or not.
child.
I don't
yeah.
mean to be laughing, but it's like, God,
It's so
uncomfortable.
hard. It's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I think, well, like, I went there, like, a few weeks after I had, like, already moved out, and she was there. I went to go see her, and she was like, sometimes I think about you and I cry. And I was like,
Oh,
oof,
no.
God. That was so rough.
You're like,
I think
Merry
that's when we decided.
Christmas,
Yeah.
I guess.
I just came to bring you your birthday gift.
Sorry, see you next year?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
We'll
start
see.
some therapy. I don't know.
That's, yeah.
It was complicated.
That's so funny. Okay,
Yeah.
so then we have a kid, and then what happens?
So then I left.
Well, you don't have a kid.
I didn't have
There
a
was a kid that was had.
Yes.
Yes.
Someone had a baby, and then I left, and then so I came out. I started seeing someone like fairly quick after that. Another stand-up comic. Yeah, so I've dated a range between normal people, stand-up comics, and improvisers, which I would say out of the 3, improvisers are the best.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, is it because of yes and? Like they actually
The
actively
whole
listen?
relationship is like a yes and. The best communication, very
Definitely.
supportive of like the comedy career, which when you date, I don't know how it works with you two, when you date another stand-up comic, especially like same sex, so, you know what I mean? It can get a little competitive and strained, especially with like feminine presenting, you know, because women are already kind of competitive. They don't think there's enough room for everybody.
Right.
Especially like when I first, like back in like the between 2010 2015 there weren't a lot of female comics around here, so it was like slim pickings,
and then you're dating one of them, so it's like
So you started dating a comic. Why? Like what were you just like, oh, she'll get me?
We hit it off like really well, and I think like we were on a bunch of like just you get to know people just being in the scene, right? Because we, of course, prior to dating, we had been like peers essentially for like 5 years, so it was like we kind of knew each other already. And then you know how it is when you go on the road and you go do shows and go do things, like things happen sometimes, and then you know
it takes off. It really does.
It takes off. That's not how we started. We didn't start on the road or anything.
We didn't start on the road, but we were doing shows together. So we'd be in the green room hanging out.
Yeah, but Drew and I, what we would do is we would go to open mics and whatever, and separate cars.
Because you didn't want people to know.
I didn't want people to know. And then we would text each other the whole time, and I'd be like, okay, I'm leaving, leave 5 minutes after me, meet me at my place.
So the sad thing about our relationship was no one knew we were dating. It was a very weird, like, I don't want to get into, like, the situation of it all.
Okay.
But it was, I mean, we can.
We probably should.
Yeah. No.
Just, like, briefly.
I was about to say, she was married to somebody the whole time.
I mean, can you, like, briefly just, like, give us a little tidbit?
So, like, let's see. So, I was in a relationship prior to that from, like, late teens to, like, late 20s. That's how long I was with my husband. So I think, I was already in the mindset of like companionship, and that's for me how relationships were. So I'm like, oh, I've left this person and now I have this person. And we spent like a lot of time together. We were together all the time, and her and I ended up dating for about 5 years. But there was never like, she always wanted to make sure, she was like, we're not monogamous though. And I was like, for sure, but we are, right?
Yeah.
So then over time, when you kind of have like that misunderstanding of what your relationship is, then you find out other things, and then I was like, oh.
Then it makes it complicated, and expectations weren't met because they weren't really set. Yeah.
And I think, oops, sorry, I bumped it.
That's okay.
My breasts are large. I'm sorry. P.S. I'm single.
Never be sorry. Don't ever apologize for the large breasts.
Yeah. Also, that's going to get all the people listening to also watch the YouTube
your clip
now.
to like promote the episode.
I think so.
I'm sorry the mic moved. I have large breasts.
We will use that. That's the intro of the episode.
That's perfect.
Yeah, but so, and I think like she had just gone up, like had a breakup prior to that too. So we were both kind of in like a mentally shitty, weird rebound area, which when you build a relationship off that it's not healthy. Starting
also,
out
you
that
had
way.
Just come out and
I was
left a marriage. There was a kid. There was another woman. You were young.
Yes.
So there's so many different things that's like, you probably weren't going to have the most successful next relationship on the table.
And you live through it. But sidebar, comedy at that time, on fire.
Okay. Great.
Because I think that's when, when everybody starts out, they're very blue, or they find whatever's like relatable to an audience.
Yeah.
When that happened and I got divorced and it was such a like string of events, that's when I started talking about like myself more on stage.
Okay, so that's kind of transitions into the next part, right? Like
you pulled like a Mrs. Maisel is what I'm hearing. Like very like, all right, I'm gonna talk shit about him now.
Yeah. She's like, here's my way to cope with it. Yeah, which is what comedy is: tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Really is.
So. Has stand-up comedy negatively or positively impacted your past relationships, or vice versa? So like now we're in this point where you were married, you started stand-up, you came out, you got a divorce, you started dating women.
Yes.
You started not only dating women, but you started dating a stand-up comic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the best. No one learned from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes, everyone.
So
I mean, not you two, but
like you made a transition. You're like, I'm gonna make a freaking transition.
I
jump in.
Yeah, you jumped in the deep end. So what kind of went wrong when you were dating a comic? What obviously all the like baggage was there. That's an obvious surface. There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But was there like miscommunication when it comes to like writing jokes or who can joke about what or like?
No, because neither one of us ever talked about it really on stage that we were dating, because I think one of us, I won't say who, wanted to keep it a secret.
That makes sense. So yeah, you can't talk about it on stage.
So we never really talked about it on stage.
Were you single on stage? Is that like, or did you just avoid all romance topics?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think I still kind of maintained that a little bit. I don't know why. No, I talked about my girlfriend who we had just broken up a couple months ago. Like, I talked about her a little bit on stage, but it was never anything like negative. Because that was like the most healthy relationship I've ever been in.
Right. And I'm also just personally not a huge fan of comics who go on stage and bash their partners.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me feel like, why are you with them?
You can leave.
Yeah, you can leave and write like bad material. Yeah. You don't need to torture someone else in their life.
Yeah.
But like when Drew and I talk about each other, it's usually pretty positive.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But okay, so when you're dating this comic now, and what's the point that you're like, this isn't
when I found out.
And then what did you do next? What was after her?
What was after her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I found out she had slept with one of my really good comedy friends.
Dope. Yeah.
And then I was like,
That's a red
so
flag.
this isn't like, I mean, but I don't want to like blame it on her to say like she's a shitty person, because she's not, because she made it clear like the whole time like this isn't monogamous, but I'm like, oh, okay. Air quotes
we're
for the
just
listeners.
friends.
You're like, it's not monogamous, but you love me, right?
Yeah, because that was like one of the lines was just like, I'm just not that gay, and I was like, honey, it's been 5 years, you're probably that gay. Like, we've been together for a while. So that was pretty much, we like ended it from there. And then after that I had like a little bit of a weird hoe phase.
That's not weird.
Also, that's not weird at all.
That's not weird.
Okay.
Good for you. Like, it's learning. Yeah, what are you? Like, you got married young, so you had to have it at some point.
Yeah, because I was like, I think I had just turned
We all did,
30.
Drew? Did you?
Oh.
I mean...
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Not even a little, not even close.
Wait, change it. That's how you...
I had a hoe face. No, you didn't.
Drew,
You did not.
I am
Literally
so sorry.
just zoom in on each of your faces and just do a disbelief.
Emma is shocked, and I'm like, tell the truth.
Yeah, it's be yourself, and I'm like trying to still be a cool guy.
Yeah.
Listen, we're all ourselves in your studio. It's a safe spot.
In our closet studio.
Yeah, I love it.
Aw, thanks.
Okay, so you said you were 30.
I had just turned 30, went into a hoe phase. Oddly enough, all bartenders from comedy shows.
Okay.
That's what I went for about 6 months.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, you're there. They're there.
Yeah, they're around, and then it's like they get to know, because like my stand-up, I very much, not to be like self-indulgent, but that's what I talk about is myself, so it's like kind of personable. So then they're like, ooh, I know you, and I'm like, you don't, but we could bone out. That's
Yeah. You don't know me for real, but like we can get to know
each other.
So true. Like, yeah, they think they're like your best friend because they've heard you talk for a while. I'm like, oh, that's part of me.
I did stop with the bartenders though, because I guess, can I like say clubs names in here?
Yeah, Sam.
She doesn't work there anymore, but I had slept with a bartender from the Punchline. And then I ghosted her very hard. Ooh. And then I did not go back to the Sac Punchline for a few months. It was a while. Just because, like, so dating was, like, so new to me that I was just kind of, like, awkward. Like, I would never know, like, a casual thing, how to just end it.
Yeah.
Without being like, well, I guess I just stopped talking to them, right? Which is shitty. It's not great behavior.
Yeah, but this is the first time you're in the dating pool. Like, you don't know.
I'm pulling, like, rookie moves at, like, 30 years old.
Yeah,
like,
and then, people just don't expect that.
Yeah, but every time I had done that to someone, it took me a while to come back around, but I would always do give them, I would come back and be like, I'm sorry that I'm, like, kind of shitty and did that. I'm really not used to date. Like, I would be honest with them, so I would never, like, cut anyone off hard, and I would always like apologize to them down the road.
That's a good thing. Yeah, you're a good person. So yeah, we all make those mistakes. Yeah. I've broken up with people via text.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Like the go-to.
That's really cool. You're learning so much about yourself.
As I start texting Aurora, she's like, what's going on?
I want D word. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put it out there.
No,
but that's such good insight for our listeners to hear that, like, because I feel like a lot of listeners who are fans of comedy will watch comedians and feel like they know us, they know who we are, because it is self-indulgent. It's a self-indulgent career, but we're doing it to make ourselves vulnerable to have other people feel seen and heard through our life experiences. So when you go up and do that, someone goes, oh my God, I know Emma. Oh my God, they're so great, you know? Yeah. And then we're Emma, and we're like, oh God, no, I don't know.
Please no, I have so many issues that you don't see on stage. Like,
right, because the stage is us. It is who we are, but it's an elevated version of us, and that we curate to entertain people. So it is us, but it's not...
it's an amped version.
Yeah.
Because, like, I talk to no one, like, outside. If I don't see him at a show, like, I do not talk to anybody.
Right. Yeah, and it's hard, especially with that whole history. So I love that. I think that's really good insight.
Yeah. I'm really curious because of the usual, like, rivalry or hatred between improv and stand-up.
Oh my God.
Was that something that manifested in your relationship? Oh, like, stand-up shows, like improv's not funny.
But it's really, like, so with, like, merging into the group, right?
Yeah.
Because I had never talked really to improvers or, like, anything, because stand-ups have that, like, stigma for...
And then really quick.
So much for no reason.
Yeah.
Did you go from dating that stand-up comic to dating the improver?
There was the gap, the little
the
6
hoe
months,
phase. The hoe
the little bartend hoe phase.
And then you went,
and then because I'd gotten in, like, we broke up, went through my weird phase, and then I was like, I can't be like a terrible person to women because I feel like that's awful. Then I did my like closing thing where I like talked to the chicks that I was kind of a dick to, and then I was doing a lot more stand up, dude. 2019 Emma was on their game.
You were ready?
Like, comedy was on, mental health was great, physical shape was awesome. So
you're everything to shut down.
Everything, yeah, exactly. So it was like, and I was doing like a show, I think I was at Comedy Spot. But you know when you're like not looking for it, and like you're feeling good, that's when you find it, right?
It really is.
And I did that stand-up Nerdity when they used to do that show.
Yes.
And then she was on a show after that. I was outside smoking, and she came out and was like bouncing around, and I was like, who's this? I'm a sucker for brown hair, like long brown hair.
Okay.
Very nice hair.
As I readjust my dark hair.
I know, I'm a sucker for...
listeners, Emma is hitting on me.
So, and then I ended up staying for that show. Never at that time, I think I was doing stand-up almost 10 years. Never watched an improv show. Like, ever.
Because of this rivalry that I didn't know about.
So, I think it's just a weird toxic thing amongst stand-ups. Because, so, like, whatever, I stayed for the show, talked to her, fast forward, like, I asked her out a couple days later through Messenger, and then we, like, hung out a lot, started dating. And then I would hang out with the improvisers, the Comedy Spot ones specifically. Yes. Nicest group of people
they are so
you have ever met. Like, it's wild, because they're like, God, improvisers are so goofy, and they're just like, nah, and you're like, they're very sweet, and genuinely, like, kind, nice people.
They're so nice.
Like, and if you compare that to, like, hanging around just stand-ups all the time, I'm like, stand-ups are assholes. I mean, I love them, because you get that, like, tough skin from doing stand-up and being around the people. But improvisers are just so lovely.
I feel like people who do improv people have actual jobs. And stand-up comedians are usually
Which is what I liked, because I have an actual job. And I was like, these people, they get it. They get it.
Oops,
sorry.
I got to go to one after party after one of the shows that was like part stand-up, part improv, part sketch.
Yeah.
And it was, the most, like... these are my people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel welcome here. And it wasn't like, oh, he's a stand-up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
I don't think they have any idea about
How
this
much we hate
rivalry,
I think
at all.
I'm not as familiar with the rivalry, but I do know that improvisers are very sweet.
They're very nice.
And I think part of it is because when you're an improviser, you have to work on a team.
Yeah.
And when you're stand-up,
oh my gosh.
when
So
you're stand-up, it's just you.
sociopath.
Yeah, stand-up is just you on a
Yes.
stage by yourself, and technically we are constantly competing against each other.
Oh, yeah.
And
True.
the competition makes us better because if the comedians before and after you do better, we get more stand-up comedy fans, which means we
Yeah.
get more people going to shows,
Yes.
which means comedy does better. But at the
Yes.
end of the day, we're working for ourselves to
Yeah.
make it. Where
Yeah.
improv is like you're a troupe. You are literally on a
Dude,
team.
They do this thing before shows, and I only learned it when I did Diversity in Dragons. Did you remember that
Oh,
Tara
yeah.
Morgan
Yeah,
show?
Tara's, yeah.
So that I was the only stand-up on that show, and the other people were improvisers. And before they go out on stage, they go, "I got your back. I got your back." And I'm like, why are you touching me before we go out there? So it was such a like weird thing that I was like, but they do that. Like they're just very like. And they do
Yeah.
warm-ups and shit
Yeah.
together.
I was a theater kid in high school and
I'm like,
college,
as a,
so.
yeah, as a stand-up, I'm like, I need like half a joint, a beer, and a cigarette alone.
And no
before
one
I can
talk
go
to
on
me.
stage.
Nobody
Yeah,
talk to
no
me.
one
Has
talk
felt
to
like
me.
I've been in competitions where I've seen the ugliest side of stand-up comics, and it just
Yeah.
like blew my mind because I was like, I don't want to be in this environment.
Yeah, and that's, I think, after my breakup from the stand-up comic, and I got more, like, that's when I hit comedy. Like, I got into Sketchfest. I was opening for hella people. I had my, like, 45 minutes. Like, I was doing really good. And
These are credits.
these are,
Emma,
just
I
cut this out and put it in the beginning.
Anyway,
Well, because
sorry.
that's the thing. Well, because I don't post like my shit all the time on social media.
Right.
But so like I think when I went through that breakup, stand up kind of like made me like the shittiest version of myself. Because like we said, very
Yeah.
self indulgent. So and you
Yeah.
get that instant gratification, and then you get hyped, especially when you're like on the upwards trajectory.
Yeah.
But then you meet an improviser that fucking settles you down as a person, and it's great.
Right.
Yeah, and then you break up.
So Emma, you have been married, did stand up,
Yes.
got a divorce,
Yes.
came out,
Yes.
left a child in the dust.
I can tragedy plus time. It's funny now,
Right, right,
Unless
right.
she like scours me for the internet because she is 15.
Oh,
she's
no.
exactly 20 years younger than me, and she's gonna be like, "What a terrible bitch."
To save face, Emma did say off podcast that she misses you and hopes that you're doing well.
That's actually very accurate. No, don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's the eye away from the camera.
The listeners won't know that you winked.
And then after you abandoned the child,
Yes.
you went and dated. You came out and you started dating a woman, and
Yeah.
you made the best decision and started dating a female comic for 5 years.
Yes.
Didn't work out.
No.
Went into a hoe phase, which you call weird. I say brava.
I think it's because it was my first hoe phase.
And it's the first time is the most awkward, but you did it, and
Yes.
you failed at that too. And then
Wow.
They would not say that I failed. Just to end it, I failed.
And then you made a very wise decision to date an improviser,
Yes.
which we all agree is they're all the sweetest people.
Yeah.
So the question is, to wrap it up, what happened? Why did that relationship end?
You know what? It was the healthiest breakup I think anyone could have. It was very like, we'd been together like 4 years, almost 4 years. And you know, you just find like a place where you feel kind of stagnant a little bit, which we were both feeling, so it wasn't just like one-sided. I was the first like feminine presenting person she'd ever really dated long term. She wanted to explore that more. I have never been single really in my entire adult life.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
And so it's like, we kind of left it at like, let's take like this time apart, at least a year, if not more, and just do like whatever, and then
wow.
see what happens later on, but no pressure. It was very like well talked out, and like came to like Improvisers. I cannot
Yep.
stress that enough.
Here's the rules of the
best,
scene.
yeah.
Did you
Here's-
guys move in together or anything?
No, we
Okay.
never lived together.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
that is that.
That's
Wow.
super healthy. It's so nice to hear that other people are out there having these functional, healthy things, because it's like, we only hear about the bad ones. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, like, my car's gone, it caught on fire,
Yeah.
like, that bitch is crazy.
No,
like,
yeah.
no,
No,
like,
this one,
very healthy.
all around, very healthy relationship.
That's great.
Well, good for
Yeah.
you. Now it really sounds like it's a breath.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, I did a breakup and now I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
out and like sabotage my life. It really is like let me just take a minute and like find out who I am and to
Yes.
be yourself. Oh my
Yes.
God, look, full circle.
Full circle. Yeah, being yourself. The reason why we chose that as the theme is you as a stand-up comedian are somebody that when I watch you, I'm like, holy shit, this is 100% Emma. This is
Yeah.
honest. There's no difference off stage, on stage. Like, you have pulled back the curtain fully and we are getting to hear it from your heart.
Yeah.
And Emma, you are hilarious.
So funny.
You are so funny. I remember one of the first times I ever saw you perform, you talked about putting the dildo on the wall.
My gosh.
Oh my
And
god.
Haney classic.
I was in tears. Tears.
So funny.
A real gift.
And I agree. You like your voice in person in real life, Matt. It's your voice on stage.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Your stories of being a FedEx delivery driver, and yeah, I noticed it on as I said
Rep
it.
I
it.
get
We
so
are
much
not
free clothes
sponsored.
from them. Yeah, I have to wear them outside of work.
Your stories, every time we get a delivery now, I just imagine it's you
Yeah.
dropping it off, just like, how would I
Which
treat
is
Emma?
funny because this was my delivery area for 6 years.
I know. Isn't that wild?
That would have been something. I always want to know the delivery person, because I'm like,
I
what if
don't.
they're as funny as Emma? But I doubt it.
They're not.
They're not.
They're very
Emma
upset
has confirmed
people.
that they are not.
No.
They're nowhere close. So we both enjoy that. It's something that we really, really enjoy. So how did you find your voice? How did you find your confidence to be yourself on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said earlier.
I think.
Also, how did you find the confidence to come out? I feel like that probably goes with it. Maybe.
Do you want to hear like how I first came out? Because my mom was
Sure.
besides my husband when I left him and I was like, I'm gay, I have to go. My mom was the next person I came out, and she works at she doesn't anymore. She's retired. She worked at FedEx with me. We both worked in the morning together, and my mom is very much a traditionalist as far as gender roles
Of course,
and you know, just the roles and relationships with men and women. And I remember when I got divorced and I told them, they were so freaked out because now they're like, oh, now our baby girl is alone and she'll die because she can't do anything. So like, and this was at like 4 a.m. because we both worked, I've always worked like really early. And she was just harping on me, as parents do when
Of
they
course,
care.
yeah.
I guess.
That's why when you said that, I was like, we all have parents like
Yeah,
that.
and it was just like, she was like, you need to like take a step back from comedy, you need to be a better wife, you need to do this, like you're going out too
Oh,
much.
no.
It was like the like rhythm of how she was delivering it, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm gay, that's what, because they didn't know that was the thing and why I had left. Everyone thought it was comedy, and that's why I was leaving him to like move to LA or like try. And I was like, no, I'm literally queer as fuck, and
Also,
I need
why
to
couldn't
go.
why couldn't it have been? Why could it not have been? You just wanted
Exactly.
to pursue stand up, and he was getting in your way. Ew.
I know.
It's that traditional
it's
thing,
the
right?
traditional.
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
you settle down,
Yeah.
you give up on your dreams, and just be with
Yeah.
your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever. And yeah, I know
That's
that
like
one.
that's the American dream, correct? As a woman, that is what we do.
Get married and have babies.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
that's
So
it.
I think after I came out to my mom, that's when I was just like, I'm just gonna be the theme. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
And my goal with stand up, because it's like I said, like everyone when they start, we're all pulling from the same one pool. It's sex. It's whatever the topics of the day are.
Yeah.
If you're a
Online
man,
dating.
Tinder.
If you're a man,
yeah.
it's your penis.
It's your
Yeah.
penis. You hump the stool at least once.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
If you know, but we're
We
all
all do.
pulling from the same stuff as
Yep.
new comics. That's just how it is.
It's natural.
And so my whole thing was like, I am a funny person off stage, not to sound weird. Like,
No, you
people
are.
at my new station where I work at, a lot of them don't really know that I do stand-up. And they're just like, God, you're so funny. You've got great timing. And I'm like, been honing it for years. No bigs.
This
my
wasn't by
secret.
accident,
But,
okay?
but even, like, before I had been doing stand-up, it's always been that way. And I think, like, the best you can be on stage is when you can be the same person on or off stage. Because it's the most, like, authentic way. There was, like, towards the middle of my stand-up career, there was a big thing about people stealing bits, and I'm like, who's gonna steal these bits of mine? Because it's all about, which is self-indulgent, right? But it's all about me and, like, my journey.
Yeah.
Blood of a white woman, I have to say journey. But
My journey.
But you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
that was always my goal, and I would say it took me till about 6 years to hit that. It's about 6 years.
I think for me, that's probably about when it hit for me too.
Yeah.
So I get
Yeah,
that.
I think so too. Yeah, I think, damn, what you said is so true. The more you can be yourself on stage, the funnier and more relatable you're going to be.
Yep.
Is it self-indulgent? Yes, but that's what people go to these shows for.
But I think just to do comedy in general, you have to have that tinge of self-indulgence, or else you're
Yeah.
not funny, and
No.
we've seen those open micers. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Because you can see open micers who are going out and they're trying to be a comic. And I can say that because I was that
We all
open
did it.
micer.
We all
yeah.
My one-liners.
We all did it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where I went on stage and I was like, this is what I see comedians
Yeah,
they do.
because you're
this.
just watching, like, people's stand-up specials, and you're trying to emulate that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch stand-up specials anymore. I haven't for, like, years, because it is, like, especially, like, when you're first starting, that's what you're trying to emulate.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how I can be Patton Oswalt, but I will for sure try to do my best.
Right. And it's like,
And you
Right,
pick up
like,
their mannerisms,
you do.
and it's not good.
no.
One of my friends speaks like Tom Segura, like
Yeah.
word for word,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, the rhythm, the
cadence,
cadence,
everything.
Yeah.
everything's the
Yeah.
same, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not until you figure out you're gonna pick up little what are they called? The things that you do, like
The manners.
you're gonna pick up
yeah.
little mannerisms and things from people that you enjoy watching.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between picking those up and implementing them in your set to like do stand up, because stand up is an art, right?
Yeah.
But it's you have to like be yourself on stage, and those little mannerisms you pick up have to be entertaining.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Being yourself. It's all about being yourself
Yep,
in your voice.
The closest you can get to being the same person on and off stage, the better you will be. I think. That's just me personally, how I feel about it.
Do you have some jokes where there is a little bit more maybe exaggeration or a little bit of lie to it? And how does it feel when you're doing those kind of jokes?
Oh, to be honest, not really.
You're
Maybe
like-
when I was like early on,
Yeah.
everything is very accurate because I like authenticity.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
feel like an audience can tell the difference.
Yeah.
They really can't. Like, and I just like being honest with people. I remember the first time I did a feature weekend at Laughs Unlimited, and that was when I was doing the new jokes about coming out and like talking about all that stuff and just being more open about it. There was a lady who came up to me afterwards and was just like, my daughter just came out, and it's so and you hear like that shit from people, that's when you're like, oh, I'm just gonna keep it 100.
Keep
Yeah.
it
all the time.
100. Yeah.
Because you just, it just feels good.
The
It
worst.
does.
Being yourself. And
Yeah, the worst feeling I've ever experienced in comedy, which I've been booed off stage.
Really?
Yes, I've been straight up booed off stage. It was an Apollo-style show. The audience was encouraged to boo people that they did not like.
Oh.
So I've been booed off stage. That is not even the worst feeling I've ever had. The worst feeling I've ever had in stand-up is going up and pandering so hard.
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference between knowing your audience and changing a little bit to know your audience. If you're performing in front of kids, you're not going to say the F word, change your material. If you're performing...
Emma's like 100%.
Emma's
no matter
like,
what.
the more...
100.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah. You know what? Do you, Emma?
I don't do children's shows.
But like, I just remember pandering so hard that it wasn't myself, and I went up and I knew it wasn't myself. I felt uncomfortable, but I tried to pander. And then I bombed, And that was the worst feeling because I was like, what if I had just been myself? Because they may have loved Aurora, like they may have loved Aurora, but if they hated me, they would have hated me and my material, not what I was trying to be. You know, and that is the worst feeling, not being yourself and then bombing. You know?
Oh, so much worse.
I don't know if you guys have had that.
I've never been booed off stage. I've had, like, I think one time I did, like, 30 minutes down at this, like, bar room in fucking Concord where I did 30 minutes of just, like, complete silence. Like, someone's phone rang and I was like, answer it. No one's... Maybe your phone call will be more interesting than this... than these bars I'm spitting.
These hot
bars.
Melting... bars.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
I've had where, like, I'll do new jokes that are just me speaking from the heart, and they'll crush, and then I'll try to go to the stuff I'm like, this works everywhere else, and they go dead silent. I'm like, they can tell the difference.
They can tell the difference,
so easily. Like, oh, he said this 100 times versus he's just talking right now, and it hurts because it's
like, look at Drew up there just spitting.
I'm like, and then I'll go back, I'll be like, these jokes are funny, you guys laugh at the jokes I've written and like crafted, like, versus just yesterday this happened and it made me sad, and they're like, we love you.
I'm like, you're so brave, Drew. You're so brave.
Why? So I'm done being a liar on stage. I need to work on it.
I hope that young comics hear this, or people that are thinking of starting stand-up hear this. Please be yourself.
Just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Whoever that is in that moment, be that person.
So everybody else singing the Just Friends, the
Be
mom.
yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Okay, we're making snow angels.
Oh my god. I love that movie.
It is my favorite
movie.
So
There's
good.
a sound from that movie that's going viral on TikTok right now. That's like becoming...
One.
It's the...
Is it Be Yourself?
I mean...
It is going to be after this.
Now.
No, it's the sound where she goes, I don't need to know that. I'm the talent. When the plane goes down, because she...
she put the thing in the microwave.
Yeah, she was like, I don't need to know that. I'm the talent. So that's going.
She was like,
if you guys want to know the inside scoop, get viral on TikTok. Now we are going to do pocketed premises.
Pocketed punchlines.
Oh, God.
You're messing up the titles.
I know. Okay, sorry. I thought of the...
This is fresh.
What's it called? Pocketed what?
Punchlines.
I put premises on here.
Yeah, I know.
I did it. I made up the name and I still put it wrong. Okay. Pocketed punchlines. Okay. So we are going to do pocketed punchlines. We're going to be playing this with every guest that we have.
Yeah.
Basically, all comics have in their old notebooks, old notes in their phone of premises and punchlines that we thought of, and we put them there, and then they go into this like storage of just we never get back to it.
Yep.
I have about 60 pages of my iPhone.
Do we go in the? Do we go in the notes?
700
You
notes
have
in my phone.
700 notes
In my phone, they've transferred from every phone since I started comedy.
And the craziest part is that we have all these notes, but it's not just like one joke per note. It is like some of them have like 15, 20 per note.
Mine are singles.
Are they?
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, we want you to go back. You know, I have some from 2016. Go back as far as you want. The further the better. The more you forgot it, the better. Read it. Tell us maybe what your idea was for it. If you want to try and finish it right now. But we just want to hear some random ass
Were you drunk when you read it? Were you high?
The
and
story
you're like,
behind it. Yeah, that's what we want to. We want to hear the juicy scoop.
Let me see.
And Drew and I, while you're looking for one, Drew and I will start doing this when we do. Because we want to participate.
Yeah,
right.
It's fun.
So,
I have 700 to go through.
So
oh my God.
This is gonna be a forever podcast till the day that we die.
Until I finish these notes.
Does it have to be like funny?
No.
Okay. The worse the better.
Yeah.
I just have like, I don't know if I was lit.
Oh, read
but
it.
I went off about Top Chef.
Okay,
in like
let's go.
I want to hear it.
Let's go.
It just says, I love watching Top Chef. 2 things I've learned from Top Chef. Front of the house on the losing team of Restaurant Wars always goes home. Always, in all caps. and never make a risotto. It's cursed. That's all I wrote about it. And that
So
was
were you like maybe wanting to be on it?
Dude, I think it was when I was dating the stand-up girlfriend. We went through a time where we just watched. We watched like 17 seasons of Top Chef.
Oh my
They
god.
have 17
Dude, they're
seasons.
up to like season. I don't know. They're in London next year. I'm very excited for
Oh my
this. I still
gosh.
watch it.
They're
I
going
love
on an
it.
international
They're doing
tour.
it all.
Let's go. Let's get
But
on
yeah.
it.
I just
So-
love. I feel like the risotto. Never do risotto. It's cursed. Could be a T-shirt. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that's like.
Oh,
Top Chef lesson. Never
Yeah.
make a risotto. You know what? Now I'm gonna work on that joke.
Yeah.
Because I rewatched all of that shit during quarantine. I rewatched Top
And
Chef.
show you that
Yeah.
feeling. My brain, because I'm such a silly person when I first write jokes, is what would Bottom Chef be? Like Top Chef is this. What would Bottom Chef be? Like
I was,
Yeah.
my mind just went 1,000 places. Mostly it was an LGBT bottoms chef.
that's kind of what I started
Oh,
thinking.
that's
Like
good.
at first when I said it, I was thinking that, and I was like, oh wait, that would be like a bad cook. I was like, no, but I want to hear Bottom
no,
Chef.
bottom
Yeah.
chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to do that we forgot to do with Sydney.
Ooh, what is it?
It's behind you on the bookshelf.
Date night fund?
No.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to
We have a
donate to your
mascot.
date night
Yeah,
fund.
we have a podcast mascot.
Oh, I love that guy, Paul.
Paul! It's Paul Conyers, everybody. Give it up for
Yeah.
Paul Conyers. Okay, so this is what had happened. Paul is now our new mascot because
Okay.
we went to the holiday party at Laughs
That's
Unlimited.
The first year I missed it was this year.
Right. Oh,
Anyways,
really?
yeah.
It
You
was
might have
fun.
gotten this.
Yeah,
You
so-
might have gotten this
So,
beauty.
you guys, Laughs Unlimited is a club here in Sacramento, and they host a holiday party for comics every year, and they do a gift exchange, and you put your gift in
a pair of socks.
a pair of socks, and then
Yeah.
how does it work? I don't.
And then you just grab one. Your name
Yeah.
gets pulled out of a hat, and you go grab a pair of socks, and whatever's
this was
inside
in a
is.
sock?
So
You
I
rolled it
pulled.
up.
So I was talking to Paul. We were hanging out. We love Paul. Paul's a great guy. Great comic. Go see
Yeah.
him. But God damn it! I went to go pull the sock. I was like, "This is gonna be a good gift." I feel it. I pull out a rolled up, signed, autographed
That's so
photo of
cool.
Paul. It's so cheesy. It's a picture of Paul with like a superhero stance, and it says it's his headshot. It
Yeah.
says, "If you can dream it, you can do it."
That's awesome, though.
It's the cheesiest thing, and we're gonna have it on every podcast.
Can I
now.
say that is my pose before I go on stage?
Is it? It's a
Yes.
power pose.
I have a mantra. I'm like, you are great. You come from greatness. And then I just hold this and then I go out on stage.
Oh my
I've been doing that
God.
for like 10 years.
That's
Okay.
amazing advice. Like that's the clip that the young comics who are like, we can't wait
Yeah.
to hear all your guys' feedback and advice. It's like
Yeah.
that right there.
Yeah.
Like that. Like strike a
Whoa.
pose.
You gotta just
Emma
feel
has
it.
been dropping bars this episode.
I'm like, find your voice, find your mantra, like
Do a
Yeah.
power pose.
You have to. Power pose is
Touch a
key.
photo of Paul Conyers before you get on stage.
Yeah.
There you go. Channel his energy.
What if I was just like, whoa?
You get transported to your future, like in
Yeah.
Outlander, but in opposite. Okay, you get it. You guys get
I
it.
got it.
well, this has been fun. That's like
I had a great time.
Did you have a good time?
Next to your clean linens.
If
I had
you-
a great time.
Okay, if you didn't have a good time, tell us off the air. And
No, I
how we can fix it. Yeah.
yeah, no, we can fix it.
Like give us the 5-star Yelp review right here and then send us the email.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
but really you need to give me a free dinner.
No.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Waste of my time.
So where can people find you, Emma?
I think I'm mostly active on Instagram nowadays at Haney Comedy. And I'm gonna be. I think my next show, I'm doing the showcase at Punchline. I think it's the 15th or 16th.
We
Okay.
This episode might air after that, so
That's fine.
Awkward moment.
but definitely follow them on the socials.
Yes.
E Haney Comedy.
Yes.
Right?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yes.
And that's where you're most active.
Yes.
You post your future shows on there.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do.
great.
Perfect.
Okay, good. Go see them in live. You won't regret it. They are like we chose Emma for this because they are themselves. That's it. 100%. And if you want to see good comedy, go see Emma. Okay.
For sure.
Thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You
it was very
are
fun.
absolutely amazing. For our listeners, please subscribe, share, follow, and thumbs up this episode. Follow us on socials at The Love and Comedy Podcast. One more time, The Love and Comedy Podcast.
Both of them, yay! And we want to hear from you. This show is all about asking questions, and we want to know your questions. If you get a group of comedians in a closet, what would you ask them? So send us all your questions on the socials. We'll get those into into an episode as soon as we possibly can. And if we find the right comedian where it's like, oh, this is great, let's ask this person.
We love a mailbag.
We have been
We
receiving a lot of questions, so we're working to get through them. But we will. We want to promise you that we will get through them.
We will.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's all we have
think that's
today.
it.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Emma.
Yeah, thanks for having
Emma.
me.
Follow them.
Yeah.
Follow us.
Please.
Bye.
Bye.